The Bible describes Satan as an angelic enemy of God and, by extension, the adversary and opponent of those who follow God. Despite the fact that everything God created was good, Genesis chapter 1 verse 31, Satan chose to rebel against the Lord, and many other angels joined him. Isaiah chapter 14 verses 12 through 17. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens, I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. Those who see you stare at you. They ponder your fate. Is this the man who shook the earth and made the kingdoms tremble? The man who made the world a wilderness, who overthrew its cities and would not let his captives go home? Satan tempted Eve to sin in the Garden of Eden, and Adam followed her into sin, plunging the whole human race into a curse. Genesis chapter 3, verses 16 through 19. To the woman he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband, but he shall rule over you. And to Adam he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Romans chapter 5, verse 12, NIV. Therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all people, because all sinned. In the Bible, Satan is depicted as a serpent and dragon. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. He is a murderer and the father of lies. He spreads false doctrines and deviously attempts to keep unbelievers in spiritual subjection. John chapter 8, verse 34, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. There are many things said about Satan in the Bible, but it is also important to establish what is not said about him. There are numerous myths about the devil, including the following. Satan is not a personal being, but rather is only a force of evil. He is equal to God, resulting in a form of dualism. He is independent to do whatever he wants. He is omnipresent. The Bible contains the following information about Satan. Satan is a personal being with a mind and emotions and a will. Job 1, Matthew chapter 4, verses 1 through 12. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread. Jesus answered, It is written, Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. If you are the Son of God, he said, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. Jesus answered him, It is also written, Do not put the Lord your God to the test. Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. Jesus said to him, Away from me, Satan, for it is written, Worship the Lord your God and serve Him only. Then the devil left him, and angels came and attended him. When Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he withdrew to Galilee. He is a created being and is not equal to God. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. Hell was created as a punishment for Satan and his demons. Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. Then he will say to those on his left, Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. He roams the earth. Job chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where have you come?" Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking up and down on it." The devil can only do what God allows. Job chapter 1, verse 12. And the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your hand. Only against him do not stretch out your hand." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Satan is not omnipresent. Satan is not all-powerful. He does, however, command a horde of demons known as the powers of this dark world and the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. He employs this network to deceive and tempt people. He actively works to nullify the effect of God's word in people's hearts, and he blinds the intellect of those who do not believe, preventing them from understanding the gospel. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. The God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. Matthew chapter 13, verses 3 and 4. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, "A farmer went out to sow his seed, and he was scattering the seed. Some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up." The Bible describes how Christians should be aware of Satan's schemes. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Believers must resist him soberly, vigilantly, and steadfastly, aware of the reality of his plans to tempt us and make us unfruitful in the Lord's service. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. When tempted, the believer should submit himself to the Lord and resist the devil, and Satan will flee. James chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Satan is not only a tempter, but also the accuser of our brothers. Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God." He enjoys listing believers' many sins, but the Lord Jesus, our advocate, defeats the accusations because he has paid the penalty for our sins. 1 John chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Christians can be confident of their salvation because Jesus has done the work for us through his death and resurrection. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. Satan is referred to as the God of this age, 2 Corinthians verse 4, chapter 4, and has dominion over the world and its system. John chapter 12, verses 31, 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. But his authority is temporary. During the tribulation, the devil will deceive the masses and raise up the Antichrist to rule for himself for 7 years. Revelation chapter 13, verses 5 through 8, ESV. And the beast was given a mouth uttering haughty and blasphemous words, and it was allowed to exercise authority for 42 months. It opened its mouth to utter blasphemies against God, blaspheming his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. Also it was allowed to make war on the saints and to conquer them, and authority was given it over every tribe, and people and language and nation, and all who dwell on earth will worship it, everyone whose name has not been written before the foundation of the world in the book of life of the Lamb who was slain. Because Satan has always desired that people worship him as God, this will also be a part of his deception, as many will worship Satan at that time. Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. He will also attempt to destroy the remnant of Israel, but will not be successful. Revelation chapter 12, verses 13 through 16. When the dragon saw that he had been hurled to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle so she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, where she would be taken care of for a time, times and a half a time, out of the serpent's reach. Then from his mouth the serpent spewed water like a river, to overtake the woman and sweep her away with the torrent. But the earth helped the woman by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that the dragon had spewed out of its mouth. Jesus will return at the end of the tribulation, destroy the Antichrist and false prophet, and imprison Satan for 1,000 years. Revelation chapter 19, verses 19 through 20. Then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to wage war against the rider on the horse and his army. But the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet who had performed the signs on its behalf. With these signs he had deluded those who had received the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. The two of them were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 3. And I saw an angel coming down out of heaven, having the key to the abyss, and holding in his hand a great chain. He seized the dragon, that ancient serpent, who is the devil, or Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. He threw him into the abyss and locked and sealed it over him to keep him from deceiving the nations any more until the 1,000 years were ended. After that, he must be set free for a short time. After that, Satan will be freed and will lead one final rebellion. Revelation chapter 20, verses 7 through 9. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city. And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Then Satan will be cast into the lake of fire, where he will be tormented for the rest of eternity for his rebellion and evil deeds. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. The devil's dominion over the world may appear unassailable, but the power of our Savior and Lord, Jesus Christ, cannot be resisted.
Mari ikut Yesus. Mari ke jalan yang benar. Tuhan berkati.